Hello, 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 and welcome to the Good Vibes Lifestyle, happening every Thursday. Although I am changing the time from 3 o'clock Eastern Time to 4 o'clock Eastern Time, and a little bit in the show, I'll let you know why. So, welcome. I'm so excited that you're here. The Good Vibes Lifestyle is about living in the good vibes area of the map of consciousness scale that Dr. David R. Hawkins talks about. And that's being in the energy of love, peace, joy, gratitude, because we know with the law of attraction that what we focus on, we attract. What we focus on, we grow. So our power, our energy is our energy, or actually, our power is our energy, where we place our energy. And how do we know? Where we're placing our attention. So, welcome to the Good Vibes Lifestyle. So, wherever you're watching from, whether it's YouTube or Facebook, I'm on several pages, Instagram, LinkedIn, please comment. Let me know where you're watching from. And as we go along, you can text and put things in the comments as we go. So I'm so excited because we're still within that full moon energy. And the full moon actually happened on June 11th. And, it's time. Let's talk about the astrological news of what's happening in the world. So just yesterday on June 11th at 3:44 a.m. Eastern Time, we have a full moon in the sign of Sagittarius. And what's really great about this is that, today's the 12th. So this just happened, really, I want to say within 24 hours. And so the full moon energy, we start feeling 3 days before the full moon, and we still have the energy 3 days after. So we have a period of like 5 or 6 days to work with this energy, to be aware of this energy. So the full moon in Sagittarius, because it's the June full moon, it's also known as the strawberry moon because this is the time when in North America or the Northern Hemisphere, you can actually um, harvest strawberries. So the Native Americans would have different names for the different moons based on what's going on in nature during that month. So, as I said, this full moon is in the sign of the astrological sign of Sagittarius, which is a fire sign, which means lots of energy. We have, the four elements air, earth, fire, and water that we're all made up of. That's also what nature is made up of as well. Fifth element being spirit or not consciousness, but spirit or chi or prana, what is life force, right? So, strawberry full moon and Sagittarius, each full moon and new moon is flavored. Actually, each day, each day we have a full moon in a certain sign. So when it's the new moon, when it's the full moon, and in between as it grows, there are different names for each phase of growth. But basically, as you go from the new moon to the full moon, the energy is building and rising, culminating at the full moon. Then it wanes and diminishes, integrates as we get back to the next new moon cycle, which is the beginning again. So full moon, we've got all this extra energy from the moon. It's reflecting this beautiful sun, which is in the sign of Gemini. So as we kind of get to know what the senses of each of the energies of each of these signs, we can kind of like understand what energy is being expanded, right? So for Sagittarius, the energies of Sagittarius have to do with truth, have to do with expansion, and have to do with freedom. Sagittarius also has the energy of long journeys, philosophy, and higher learning. So all of these kind of things is what we would want to focus on if we were wanting to use this full moon energy in areas of truth, expansion, freedom in our life. And each astrological sign, of course, there are 12 of them, also known as the zodiac signs. Each one has a ruling planet. So the ruling planet for Sagittarius is Jupiter, the planet Jupiter. And the planet Jupiter is a great benefactor. It's a really big planet, and it has to do with growth. It has to do with wisdom, and it has to do with luck. So you put these two energies together, and you get a sense of what, the kind of energy that we're working on, we're working with. So to be in sync with the energy that's happening in the cosmos right now, think of those themes: truth, expansion, freedom, or long journeys. You may be starting to do some traveling. I'm actually in the process of traveling today. We just left from Murphy. Um, and we're headed to Pigeon Forge and doing a trip to Ohio, then Niagara Falls, then the Herkimer Diamond Mines, then Cooperstown Baseball Hall of Fame in New York, then Pennsylvania, then Maryland, and then back to Murphy. So we're going to take about 5 to 6 weeks in our RV traveling, and so I'm very much in sync with this idea of long journeys with Sagittarius and expansion, because when you travel, you do expand your sense of the world. And my husband and I are going to places that we've never been before, especially together. So this is really going to be a fun time. Also, let's talk about the astrology. As we get closer and closer to the summer solstice, we're getting that buildup of the light energy. And the sun, is our symbol of life force and confidence and creative power. So we're building up to the summer solstice energy too. So we're in a very powerful time. So be aware of that as you're, going through your life and planning things out. Um, what else can we talk about regarding astrology? So that's all I got up for you right now. So just um, this full moon, it's a joyful time. It's an expansive time. It's a time of freedom. So ponder those things as you integrate this full moon energy. So let's expand out to the cosmos and talk a little bit about UAP and UFO disclosure. It has been a very busy time since Contact in the Desert, which happened about a week ago. And I did do some live streams with my friend Charlie McGuire, which you can check out on the YouTube channel. But in the meantime, I wanted to give you some highlights of what's been going on. And, oh, did I forget to put that on there? So let me see. There was yeah, okay. Oh, bummer. I went to play a video from the New Paradigm Institute that had to do with the UFOs. And let me see if I can find it. If I go directly to the website, let's see, take action. Whoops. Oh, bummer. Okay. Yeah, so there are several actions that are happening. And I wonder if I can, let's see, I found it. So here is the video from the New Paradigm Institute that talks about the latest information that was reported in the Washington Post. And let's see. Okay, here it is.
For more than 75 years, the truth about UFOs, now referred to as UAP, has been kept from the American people and our elected officials. Compelling accounts from former military and government insiders, coupled with credible documentation, now point to a disturbing reality. A systematic effort to disinform both the public and our elected leaders on this profound issue of UFOs. When a government conceals fundamental truths from its own citizens regarding UFOs, the very bedrock of our democratic society begins to crumble. Tell Congress to launch an investigation into the spread of disinformation and the overclassification of unidentified anomalous phenomena. Easily fill out the form on our website to directly send a message to your representatives. Visit newparadigminstitute.org and take action today.
So that's the New Paradigm Institute, and you can actually not only take the action, but let me stop that. In addition to taking the action by going to the New Paradigm Institute, and let me get you the website. Here we go. So it's newparadigminstitute.org. That's where you can actually take the action that he was talking about. They have several different actions that you can take. And, also, if you're interested in becoming part of the Citizens for Disclosure movement, you would go to the same website and just type in, you'll see join us or volunteer Citizens for Disclosure. You'll see that right on there. So that's what's going on as far as UFO disclosure, at least the latest. The fact that and the people that are in the UFO community know that there has been much disinformation, I guess, but maybe the shocker for some people is that it's been coming from the Pentagon. So it's like, yeah, the calls coming from from inside the house. So that shocker of, our own government has been putting out this disinformation, and this is what New Paradigm Institute and Citizens for Disclosure is all about. Is like, we want the truth. And when we're talking about, the full moon in Sagittarius, that has to do with truth and freedom and expansion, because we have to expand our minds to kind of see ourselves as being part of a cosmic universe. We're citizens, we're human citizens in this beautiful cosmic universe. And, it's been revealed that and speculated that there are over 200 extraterrestrial species, many different forms. And so you really have to open your mind to that and not be afraid of it. It's a big world. And so we're only limited by our beliefs. So it's important to be aware and to change our beliefs if we, need and want to. So along these realms of being involved with your government, with our government, I want to talk a little bit about spiritual activism, which I've talked about a lot. And the reason, especially this week, is because in just 2 days, there's going to be another peaceful protest. The group indivisible.org is their full website. They have been working since the beginning of the year to, and the Ezra, and I can't remember his last name, who started it, this Indivisible, him and his wife, were congressional staffers. And when, our government started turning to be more of an authoritarian government, people who love freedom, true Americans, were mad. And what the opportunity, we can be mad and just do nothing, or we can do something. And in our particular system, protesting is the way to let the government know what our grievances are. And they work for us, we the people. We're in this age of Aquarius, which has to do with the collective, which has to do with humanity, which has to do with the power of the people. So now is our time to take action and let the powers that be know what we want. We are sovereign beings, right? And this is the thing. There are no kings in the United States. And so that's why this protest on June 14th, which is normally Flag Day, has been dubbed No King's Day, because that the one who wants to be the authoritative, I can't even say the word, dictator, wants on his birthday, which is the 14th, wants to have huge military parade in Washington, D.C. So what the activist for the Indivisible has planned is they are going to have peaceful protests in like over 1,800 other locations outside of D.C. We, the people, are going to speak. And unfortunately, I'm going to be traveling. If I was staying in Murphy, North Carolina, I see that in, where's it called? Hayesville, not too far from me, maybe about 20-minute drive. There is a protest, a peaceful protest happening there. And where you can actually go and find out where these protests are happening, go to nokings.org and you put and actually I'm going to share the screen and show you the website, because this is important. This is important to me. I think it should be important to all of us. So nokings.org is the website. And let me go through the website a little bit and read about it, so you kind of have an understanding of where this is coming from. So in America, we don't do kings. They've defied our courts, deported Americans, disappeared people off the streets, attacked our civil rights, and slashed our services. The corruption has gone too far. No thrones, no kings, no crowns. So this is June 14th. We rise up. And so all you have to do is find the event near you. And if there is no event near you, what Ezra is saying is then you host it, right? It's time to step up. And if there are no leaders, then you be a leader. But look at all these dots right here. Um, Protests happening all around the country. And they don't do this without giving you some training. So they have phone calls, and there was a phone call last night, but there is one as well tonight, a Zoom, where, let's see, no King's call for veterans and military families. Because, what's happening right now in LA, these peaceful riots, and then our wannabe dictator is sending the National Guard illegally, unconstitutionally, immorally to Southern California. And, he's trying to stoke the fire. And this is wrong. The government's supposed to work for us, not the other way around. And the whole reason we became United States of America was to get rid of the King George, right? So this is just unacceptable, and it's time for us to do something about it if you feel called to. Now, if you don't feel called to doing this particular action, there's some others that I'll share with you. So also, and I'm just learning about this myself. So they have an event attendee pre-mobilization mass call on at 8 o'clock Thursday night. I do have something else that I'm doing at that time. Then they have another one here, What's Next in the Fight mass call on Monday, June 16th. So they'll have a follow-up to the event. So basically you can share on Bluesky, which is who I prefer over Twitter or X. And I will be sending some of these out. Again, about no kings on June 14th, Flag Day. President Trump wants tanks in the street and a made-for-TV display of dominance for his birthday. A spectacle meant to look like strength. But real power isn't staged in Washington. It rises up everywhere else. No Kings is a nationwide day of defiance, from city blocks to small towns, from courthouse steps to community parks. We're taking action to reject authoritarianism and show the world what democracy really looks like. We're not gathering to feed his ego. We're building a movement that leaves him behind. The flag doesn't belong to President Trump. It belongs to us. We're not watching history happen. We're making it. So on June 14th, we're showing up everywhere he isn't. Say no to thrones, no to kings, no to crowns. And let's see what else we have on this website. And that's about it. So there's all kinds of information. Again, put your zip code and you'll find it out if there's an event. They even have a toolkit that if you're going to host one, because there's not one near you, you can host your own. I was thinking about doing something online, but I'm not sure because I'm not sure where I'll be. Yeah, there's all this information here, so they don't leave you hanging. There's a big support system. And anyway, I wanted to share this because this is important, and even though I may not be able to attend, well, because I don't even know where I'm going to be, but I am going to look for it and see what I can, if I can do anything. I'll be with people that may not want to get involved in any peaceful protests. So we'll see what happens for me this weekend. But if you feel inspired to do something, this is a good thing to do. And just be careful and, follow instructions. I've had a couple of live streams in the past that talked about safety when you do go to peaceful protests. So check those out because, there are things that you can do to protect yourself. All right. And in the meantime, still considering spiritual activism, you don't have to physically be somewhere to make a difference. And one thing that Pamela Gregory has been encouraging us to do, she started with doing it every Sunday at 2 o'clock for 15 minutes to just get into meditation and send love and peace to the planet and just connect there. I've kind of, and then she expanded it to doing it every day at 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, wherever you are in the world. So that's an ongoing thing at 2 o'clock. So say 2 o'clock on Saturday, you could do that. Or a lot of these events are happening at noon. So you may want to do a meditation or something at noon, and send energy and love to the planet, protection to the protest, the peaceful protesters, um, also to the government officials and the our policemen and National Guard, military, and all Americans, and even those people visiting, people that are immigrants that are in the process of trying to become, um, citizens. We are a country made of immigrants, and this is something we should be proud of. Not trying to terrorize people. Is this, again, we're in this very strange dichotomy where it's very evident, fear, right? Fear, terrorism. Terrorism is a form of fear, and how they're, he's trying to stoke that. How, and we don't have to give into that, and the way we don't is by being informed and looking at other options, and not just and taking and questioning. The other thing too is to not get so involved in the drama, but like be more of a witness or an observer without emotionally getting too sucked into it, because then there's a fine line. But we are, part of this earth, and I think it's important for the good people to take the good action to create, a good world. So anyway, I just feel like it's important to be part of our society and make a difference. And again, if you can't go to a protest or don't feel like to doing that, then just meditate and send love, and that will do just as much as, or maybe even more than actually going into the streets. But don't be afraid to do that. Be courageous. So anyway, and if I was going, I'd be live streaming. So maybe I'll get that opportunity. All right, so let's now talk about the Oracle of the Month. And the Oracle of the Month for the month of June is the Psychic Tarot by John Holland. And I'm really digging this deck. It is very cool. Let me bring the card. So that's the card deck, the Psychic Tarot card deck. And I'm going to shuffle the cards. And, this is a tarot oracle, so it's a little different, in that it's based on a system, but he doesn't have the court cards in there. So it's a little different. But what he did do is add like the seven chakra cards. So it's been interesting how this works. So let's, oops. Sometimes when the card jumps out, that's the card. And the card that jumped out is Rest and Rejuvenate, even though I didn't ask a question. So let's just read that one. Rest and Rejuvenate, which is for each color background in this particular deck. And this is considered an indigo background. These have to do with the sword cards, or the area of the mental realm. Okay, so Rest and Rejuvenate. It says this card implies that a period of rest, meditation, rejuvenation, and recuperation is in order. It usually comes forward when you're encountering or coming out of a particularly emotional or mentally taxing experience. The number 4 in numerology means foundation. So this is a time to heal, to be with your soul, and to continue moving steadily forward. Allowing space just for your reflection is both needed and long overdue. So this time with the full moon energy, this is a great time to be, be in reflection. Reposing and taking moments for yourself will give you the opportunity to look at a problem or situation instead of being in it. It's a chance to stand back, view your life with clarity and renewed appreciation, and see where changes can be made to create a healthier and stronger foundation, enabling you to take your next step. So I was going to pick another card in addition to this, but this really fits what I was talking about earlier about, taking time for reflection and to not, to be aware of a problem or situation, but not being in it, to be the observer, to detach emotionally from it and really just neutrally look at different situations, and also, this would be a great time to really go into meditation and introspection and ask the question, what's my best way, to help if am I drawn to help in the Snow Kings protest? Am I wanting to be part of it, or is there something else that I can do, or how do I feel about, the situation or that we're in? Do I feel empowered to do something, or do I just want to, not be engaged at all? And we have the freedom to do zero or the most that we can, so it's our choice. So anyway, but rest and rejuvenate, this is the card that we've got for now. And does it resonate with you? If it did, let me know in the comments. That sometimes we have this full moon energy, it gives us so much energy, but sometimes we just want to absorb it, just sit in the moonlight and just absorb and reflect and take it in and restore ourselves before we move on to the next project. All right. So if you like this deck, which I really do like this deck, you can shop my Amazon store. This is one way to support me and the show. By going to good-vibes.tv, you can find my Amazon store. There's a button, and it'll take you right to it, and I'll have all of these different books and tools, all the oracles, everything that I've talked about, I put on there. So that if you want to get your hands on it, you can do it through Amazon, and I get a little commission. And yeah, so that is what's happening there. Now, let's talk about longevity with light. This is a webinar that's going to be happening tonight at 8 o'clock p.m. It's Thursday. And I'm very excited to be hosting this with my two co-hosts, Tamisa Leiden and Beth Steele. And we are going to be interviewing Dr. John Harmon, who is a former chiropractor. He's also an author of two books, and those are in my Amazon store, Reverse Aging and the Reverse Aging Power of Epitalon. So this is going to be very exciting because I've seen other interviews with Dr. Harmon, and he has a wealth of information. So what he's going to be talking about is the Energy Enhancer Patch, which is the first patch that David Schmidt had created, the inventor of the patches, the LifeWave patches. He created these for the Navy SEALs to help them have energy so they wouldn't have to use energy drinks or caffeine that gives you some energy and then you drop. And I'm actually wearing these today. That's carnesium, but these two, because it's a two-part system. Here. The ones lower are the ones. Here it is. I'm backwards. So anyway, those two are the energy enhancer ones. I didn't get a whole lot of sleep last night, I think because of the full moon. So I just like having these energy patches because they do help me have energy without feeling any kind of jitters or anything like that. So register by going to tinyurl.com/longevity June 2025 with L and J capitalized. And if you've missed previous episodes, we do one of these every month, this webinar. Go to tinyurl.com/longevity playlist with the L capitalized. That'll take you to all of the episodes that we've had so far. And we feature a patch in each one. And each of these webinars really has great information. So I hope to see you there tonight. And if you can't do it live, just still register, because in that way you'll get a reminder and a link to the event so you can watch it on the replay. Okay? All right, let's talk about the tip to of the week to raise your vibration. And last week's tip of the week was to use a powerful affirmation daily. Um, and one that I had suggested is I stand fully in my light and radiate my truth with love and clarity. And this is one that kind of is in sync with the summer solstice as we build up to the summer solstice. Um, so that was last week's tip of the week. And I wanted to kind of expand on, that was about using positive affirmations. But I didn't talk about, when to do it and this kind of thing. So here's this week's tip of the week. And this actually came from my sister, Bridget Riggs. And this tip is to read positive affirmations before you go to sleep and also upon awakening. And this helps because we're in that theta state when we're going to sleep and we're getting out of sleep. And this is like hypnotic state. So if you say your affirmation during that time, it helps to implant it better into our subconscious. So this is a cool little tip to raise your vibration that you could do every day and just make it part of your routine, which is basically a lifestyle. Each of our habits, as we build them and create them, becomes part of our lifestyle. And this is how we can maintain, higher vibrations, especially when the world is so challenging. So, anyway, this affirmation again, I stand fully in my light and radiate my truth with love and clarity. That's one that you could do. Another one this is my go to actually is all is well in my peaceful and prosperous world. That is one go to that whenever I feel anxiety or I worry about something, I stop myself, take a deep breath, and say this. And I actually keep saying it over and over again until the anxiety or the fear or whatever the lower vibration, feeling leaves. And it works. So these are just some ways to raise your vibration so you can thrive, which is what this show is all about. All right, my friends, I want to thank you for watching today. I want to remind you that your energy is your power and that I want to encourage you to choose love, to choose joy, and to let your light shine. As we get closer to the summer solstice, tap into your sunshine and don't hesitate to shine love, to shine joy, because what you put out there, you get more of. And also, as you shine your light, it lights up other people, encourages them to light up their light. So if you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and subscribe, and share it with somebody who needs a little dose of good vibes. So until next time, everyone, keep raising your vibe and thriving. Peace out, everyone.